I want to show you guys a new build I've been working on. A few weeks ago, Danny from QuadLugs sent me a version of his 540mm frame. This comes as a kit, and so I had a bunch of components already laying around. I had this HKPilot board, which is a clone of the APM board, these ESCs, some APC, multi-rotor props. So really all I had to order were these motors. Now these are Suppo motors that I got from Altitude Hobbies. They're 930 kV. And now instead of me actually doing a review of this, which you could argue is somewhat biased because Danny sent me this frame for free, what I'm going to do is get this build in the air with this HKPilot board and show you guys how to set up loiter and a few other cool things with the APM firmware, and ultimately let you guys decide for yourself. And Danny has some great build videos on his site, so check out QuadLugs.com. But I do want to point out this took about an hour to build, was pretty quick. And now the interesting thing that Danny has done is made the angles of the booms adjustable. So you can see I have this screw loosened, and you can actually go to an H-quad setup, or in 15-degree increments you can move this out. Now if we were to say this is 0 degrees, I'm 2 notches away from horizontal, which is 45 degrees. Then all you need to do is tighten your arm down, and then you have your angle. Now another thing that Danny sent me as part of this build is this Q-Brain 4-in-1 ESC. Now I've been looking at these things for a while, and to be honest, this thing is a lot bigger than it looks online. So you can see my 4 standard 30 amp Simon K ESCs, and this is the Q-Brain. So I'm just going to do a quick weight test. Just put the regular ESCs and the bullet connectors in a grocery bag, and that weight is about 110 grams. Now we have the Q-Brain bagged, and that weighs 120 grams. And you can see it sitting in the base of the quad and how much space it does take up. Versus if you have the 4 independent ESCs, as you know, a lot of guys tend to maybe mount those to the booms, zip tie them in, and then you save all this central space for either a flight controller or a battery or whatever it may be. So I don't want to be too negative on this guy yet, but definitely bigger than I expected, weighs more than the 4 ESCs by themselves, where as I thought, you know, given that everything were consolidated, maybe this thing would end up weighing a little bit less. And one cool thing about the Q-Brain is that it comes with this 4-in-1 adapter for your ESCs. So you can plug this into your throttle channel, have your ESCs connected to this, and calibrate all 4 at the same time. So definitely a useful little component if you're doing ESC calibration versus having to do them individually. And given the size of that Q-Brain, I'll likely mount this HKPilot on top. So I just wanted to introduce you guys to this build. Thank you, Danny at QuadLugs, for sending me this. And just based on the number of questions I've received over time about the APM and doing compass calibration and a lot of things to reduce any sort of interference so that you can get this thing dialed in on loiter or altitude hold or any of some of the autonomous flight modes. So I'll go ahead and take this offline, get this wired up, and in the next video show you guys some of the calibration we do before we take this QuadLugs 540 frame in the air. So I hope you guys stay tuned. Thanks again for all the continued interest and support. Until next time, thanks for watching.